Vanakkam, Krishna McKenzie. So the last video we were showing you how to value various local plants that are sort of a bit forgotten, you know, like the Sundakai and the Rosella and the Manatakali. And what I thought today is I'll show you those plants in the context of actually using them in a dish. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to harvest a few of these plants, and then we're going to go to the kitchen, and with the ladies in the cafe I'm going to make a chutney to help inspire you. This is not a recipe. This is not like, oh, I have to put this much of this and weigh it. This is an inspiration. This is an idea. You might say, well, I don't have, you know, chicken spinach, but I do have, you know, bazella spinach. So, okay, I'll use bazella instead of chicken spinach. So this is really an inspiration. So come, I'll show you what I'm thinking about. So let's start with this little field here. Here we've got some Rosella. Look, there's the Rosella, and it's growing in many places. It's just sort of coming up actually. Now Rosella is very tart. It's a very sour taste, and it's very, very tasty in the food, in the salads, in smoothies, etc. So there's a bunch of Rosella. That will be really nice. You see, there's the Rosella. And look, here's some Moditakan, which we looked at the other day with Nina's book. So this usually we put in dosas, but it's really good for your articulations, for your knees and your elbows and all, your joints. So I would whack a little bit of that in. There's nothing wrong with that. It's slightly bitter, but that's the beauty of this chutney. It's like when they're integrated, all these leaves, you won't even notice if it's bitter. It'll have a sort of very unique taste. Over here, I just saw out of the corner of my eye some ivy gourd. Look, this is the ivy gourd, and the ivy gourd leaves for me are literally one of my all-time favorite weeds. I love the taste of the ivy gourd. Let's see what else we got here. Let's have a look. What do we have? Chicken spinach. There we go. There's some chicken spinach here. So we'll have the chicken spinach. We can even use the flour, that's no problem. A bit of chicken spinach in the chutney. And then what do we have? Let's see, I actually made a list so I wouldn't forget all the stuff. Let's go down this way. So a little bit of chili would be nice. I love these Kandari chilies because these Kandari chilies are just basically free, you know. They just keep growing without any, you know, without stop. And the bush will get to about 3 meters. This is something really, really to be valued. Oh, we could also take a little bit of spring onion. The spring onion is something that you could, like some people are saying, yeah, but I live in an apartment. It's all very well. You're on a farm. What do I do? Well, if you at least you took a little flower pot and you got those little samba vengayam, the little, you know, the bulbs from a normal little shop, you could already start harvesting these spring onions, and the spring onions are really delicious in a salad and in chutneys as well. So there you go, a bit of spring onion. I think we could do with a green papaya, but I won't take it from there. Let's take it from over here. And we can also whack in loads of blue flowers in the Radha's consciousness. That goes very well in the chutney as well. Oh, there's a bit of bazella spinach. This bazella spinach is really cool. And it's the sort of spinach that grows, look, there's a little bit more here. It's a bit young and a bit tender, but it grows simply by, you know, putting a cutting in the ground like that, and it'll grow. You know, there's nothing to it. It's just so easy to grow. So there's a bazella spinach. Look, I'll have another 1 or 2 of those very tender leaves. And there's a tiny bit of rocket left, so I'll have a bit of that. The rocket's almost over. The season is sort of gone. And what else have we got? Oh, we got these very tender wing bean leaves. So the wing bean leaves, you're not going to find those so easy unless you're really farming. But the wing bean leaves, when they're very young, they're very, very sweet and they're very delicious. Look, here's some Here's some more Clitoria ternatia. I love putting this in salads and in chutneys. And there's even some of these Manatakali berries. We'll whack in some of those as well. You see these, the little berries from the Manatakali? Well, it was written quite clearly in Nina's book that don't eat the green ones because they're slightly toxic. So, but the black ones, the fruits are really fine. So there's some more blue flowers. And there's a little bit more chicken spinach here. A little bit more of the chicken spinach. And again, the chicken spinach is something that you just plant it like this. Like this is all you do. You make a hole in the ground like that. And you put it in the ground. And then you cover it. And it's that, you know, it's that simple. I must have shown that about 100 times already. But I think that, you know, you can't, you know, show that enough. How easy it is to grow. So what have we got over here? We need some lemon. Although the lemon season is it's not really lemon season at the moment, but probably we'll find something. Look, there's one little dingy one on the ground. And maybe we can find one or two that aren't quite ripe in this tree somewhere. Let's have a look, I hope. Well, not much to tell you the truth, but we'll have a few. Look, these ones aren't. That one's sort of reasonable size. We'll have that one. And that might be just about enough. Because you do want a bit of lemon in this chutney. It's really what makes it. A bit of lemon. Yeah, so that's that. So I won't use sundakai raw in the chutney. But I got a friend who has the basket and she just whacks it in raw. And her kids won't eat it otherwise, but when it's raw, they're using it. So we'll have this papaya, look. This papaya will, because it's slightly going orange, it won't be bright green inside. It'll have like a nice orangey texture to it, and yet it will still be a raw papaya. Let's see what else we've got. But over here, we have the long black pepper, the tipoli. So we can take a little tipoli. The tipoli has a very peppery taste. You know, it tastes as the black pepper. This is a really Indian plant, as I keep mentioning to people, as opposed to sort of peanuts and tomatoes and chilies that come from South America. So this is a really good plant, and it has a lot of medicinal values in it. There are more things we could take, but I think that that's already quite a nice collection. So why don't we just take that as a spontaneous start? And there's a couple more things I know on the way back, and we'll go to the kitchen and we'll start making the chutney. Oh, there you go. See, there's things on the way. Well, there's tamarind leaves. So the tamarind leaves are really nice when they're young. You see when they're like this. When they're like this, very tender, not when they're dark green like this, but when they're very young. That's all up here, look. All of this tastes really good in a salad or in a chutney. So we'll have a bit of tamarind leaves. You know, if you're a kid growing up in Tamil Nadu, you'll know what tamarind leaves are. You know, you just chomp them off the tree. They taste very lovely, very sour. And we will find some drumstick, I think, as well. Some muringa kire. Look, as I'm in the field, have a look at this tree here, look. Isn't it amazing? Oh, we did a whole video. You can see the video we've done on our papayas. But this papaya is being cut, and now it's branching. And you can see all the papayas that are slowly coming from this branching papaya. But look at the root. It's really strong and solid, and that's really valuable. It'll keep growing for a number of years, I think. Sorry, little digression there. Interesting digression, albeit. Okay, what else have we got? So we've got a bit of drumstick to find. And then we'll find a bit of guava leaf as well. Yeah. A little bit of guava leaf. More blue flowers. Yeah, so these guava leaves are really awesome. When they're tender like this, again, it's when they're all tender, not when they're hard. That's like eating like fresh raw guava. And a bit of these leaves are really good for your gums, they're good for your intestines. And it's not like you feel like, oh, I just ate a plate of guava leaves. You know, you had a real, it's really integrated taste. This is a guduchi, the giloi. So these leaves are very neutral in their taste. If you see this guy here, so it's a creeper, it's a weed. Look, it's growing all over here, in here, over there, at the back, and it grows all over the farm. It has an incredible medicinal value. It's considered to be a nectar of immortality. You know, so if you say, here's the nectar of immortality, you're going to be like, wow, thank you very much. You know, it's very special. It doesn't taste very bad, doesn't taste very good, but when you mix it in a chutney, you're getting its benefit. It's a medicinal benefit. Okay, if we go this way, you can see what else we've got. Again, you've got these tender guava leaves that are really lovely. When you take the older guava leaves, you can make juice with that as well. You can make a tea, a herbal tea with it. You'll find some drumstick around here somewhere. Look, here's a big drumstick tree. You can take this one. Take a little bit from here. If you can reach it. It's a bit bloody hard. Yeah, we can't get this one. Come, we'll go this way. Too high. We go around here. There must be another one over here somewhere. Yeah, there's one just over here. These videos are getting longer and longer the more I take you through the farm. Of course, it takes time to go from A to B. But we can't miss the drumstick spinach. You know, it's such a valuable leaf. And I think that you know, if we don't value drumstick spinach in diverse ways, it becomes very linear how we start using it. But I could have sworn there was a plant here, and now I don't see it. Okay, so maybe while I'm making the chutney, I'll ask someone to go and pick some. Come, let's go into the kitchen and get started. So here we are in Solitude kitchen, and let's put what we have out. This is Mala and Selvi. They help run the kitchen. They are the cooks, and Mala's just going to go and get some drumstick for me. And let's see what we have. So we have some rosella, we have some tipli, we have some chicken spinach, we have some tamarind leaves, we have a bit of basella spinach, we have a bit of this guduchi, we have the rosella, which is very special. You know, can't forget the rosella. And let's separate it all a bit more drumstick. We have the blue flowers, and what else have we got in here? There's more tamarind. We have the moratakan, which is super valuable. That's the rosella, that's the tamarind. We have a bit of spring onion, which is so easy to grow, even if you're living in an apartment. We have the ivy gourd, and what else have we got there? A bit of these manatakan berries, but not much. You can hardly see them. These chilies are here, and we have some lemon. So along with this, we need from outside some salt, and we need some peanuts. So the peanuts are like when you add oil to a pesto. those are the only things we need from outside. The rest of this is going to be really good. So there's the drumstick, and we'll just so this is the drumstick, and we get just a little bit more. So now I'm going to just give this all a big wash, and then I'll show you how we're going to do this. So we just chuck it all in here, give it a wash, and then we'll put it all in a mixie. So we go over here to the sink. Over here. I mean, when it comes fresh from the field, you can be sure that it's not really dirty. You know, there's a bit of dust or maybe a little bit of mud on it, but it's the sort of dirt that's even good for you. You know, you don't have to worry too much about it. Little rinse is enough. So there you go. There's the leaves all washed. We'll just wash this up. And we come over here. So now we have the mixie here, and we will start preparing the things we need. We also need a ripe papaya, and we'll have a bit of our green papaya. We'll have the papi parang. So the kitchen is going on at the same time. I hope you can appreciate the busy cooking as well. So this is the papaya when it's a little bit more hard. But if we put a ripe papaya in as well, it's really sweet. So we'll just take the skin off this hard papaya. Thanks. There we go. We have our that's our hard papaya. And then we have a more ripe papaya here. So this ripe papaya is just going to be done like that. Again, we take the seeds out, but actually you can leave some seeds in. The seeds are really, really good for this. So we'll have this and this. So now we're going to put the peanuts in there, and we're going to make the powder with the peanuts. We're going to start to add the leaves in there. So the leaves are really simple. If you break them up, to tell you the truth, they mix more easily. You just break them up like that, whack them in there. And then we can start to put in a bit of papaya into there as well. So this papaya, there's all sorts of cooking going on here at the same time. But this papaya here, this raw papaya, we just make it into smaller pieces so it's easier for the machine. And this could also be a green papaya as well. You know, it doesn't have to be this ripened papaya. Actually, by putting the ripe papaya and the semi-ripe papaya, it's a bit superfluous. We don't even need to do that because they're pretty similar. One is just harder than the other. Sorry, I just get a spoon. So we're just adding this papaya with some seeds into the mix as well. And this gives texture, and it also gives a nice sweetness to the whole thing. And we'll add a little water as well. So the water just, because it's going to be really, really thick otherwise. So a little bit of water in there. And then we have a little salt to add. So, you know, a couple of pinches of salt should be good. And we haven't put our chili in. Let's not forget our chili. The chili is still here on the table. We'll put our chili. We can just drop it in like that. I think it'll just, maybe we'll cut it a couple of times, but I don't think that's going to matter. It's going to get all knocked up, all integrated. Lemon. That's the other thing we missed. The lemon has to go in there. One. You can see that I am not the cook of this restaurant. I'm an inspiration, but I'm not the cook here. But I constantly encourage the ladies, you know, oh, don't forget to take the tipali. You know, like now we've forgotten to take the Indian oregano, which I'm actually going to pause and go and get. Shakti, come with me quick. We're going to get the Indian oregano. Because these are the things that we constantly forget to add. You know, you need 1 or 2 people in the cafe that go around the farm every single day, and they constantly just bring in different plants. So this is the Indian oregano, and it's absolutely a wonderful plant to be valuing. It's this one here. I mean, I met a friend yesterday, a guy, he's been in Oroville forever, and he uses this in any Italian cooking. He says it's better. Oh man, and we forgot to add the potalaca. Look, here's the potalaca. So I mean, this is a bit of a freestyle video. This isn't exactly MasterChef, but I think the spontaneity of this gives you an idea of how truly we can add so many things. That portulaca with the little red flower, which you can also use, by the way, this is the one that's high in omega-3. And the other one that I was showing you is the Indian oregano. That is also very beneficial medicinally, but its taste is really unique. And I think that this idea that taste is synonymous with the medicinal value is a really interesting concept to consider. So let's give it a little wash. All my fingers that are dirty now. Give a little rinse, and we'll add that as well to our mix. So we'll pop that on the top there, and we have the little lid of our mixie. We close it, keep it tight, and there it goes. Mix, let it get really homogeneous, and what it goes is so here we have our chutney. Look at this, look how lovely this is, and it's as simple as that. So look, if I eat this, you might say, oh, he's just acting, you know, it's not that good really. But let's have a look. I give a little bit to Mala. Mala, come here and try this, my dear. So you know, local people won't eat anything. This is very tasty. And look what we had to get from outside. Peanuts and salt. You know, glass of water. So we'll take this and this. And we'll come and sit over here. And here we have Jeremiah, who is also a filmmaker, and he's been making many movies in Solitude, which are all going to get displayed very soon, put up on the YouTube, on an incredibly long playlist that will take you a good 6 months to go through, because he was very enthusiastic, and we'll get him to give us an opinion about this. What a treat. There you go, Jeremiah. Tell us what you reckon about that. Yeah. Thank you. Have a taste. Good? Yeah? I've got to try myself.
You can taste the life in it. It's got so much flavor.
Life. I love it. Life. Yeah, it's really good.
It's pure life.
So next video we'll try and do something else. I think adding this cooking element to the videos is really important. You know, people have to see how to use this stuff. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.